Hello everyone, welcome to Global Focus. I'm Yu Chen. We are so glad we invite Assembly Member District 49, Mike Fong, into our program today. And we have a lot of news to share to you guys. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Yu Chen. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So a lot of people knowing that you do a lot of work effort to serve the community before, and right now in the Assembly member seats you do a lot of things like you promote for a lot of new project and then to helping the community. So first of all, would you want to share recently what did you done for the community and would it help for local community in the future?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Yu Chen, for the opportunity to join you here today to share the work that we've been doing. I'm very honored to join you here today to really talk about what's happening in the San Gabriel Valley and the 49th Assembly District. Prior to serving in the state legislature, I had an opportunity to serve as a trustee for the Los Angeles Community College District, and there I was very focused on expanding job training programs, expanding access to education, and workforce development programs. In the California State Assembly now, we know that education has the power to transform people's lives, and very honored that 5 of our bills have gone to the governor's desk. 2 have actually been signed so far, and we have 3 more on his desk. One of those bills is Assembly Bill 1958, which is going to look at canceling student debt for our community college students here in California. That would impact about 300,000 students that have not continued their education during the pandemic. I'm hoping that the governor will sign that bill. We've also had other bills on ethics trainings for school board members, flood control management plans, disability access, and also addressing climate change. And we know it's been a whirlwind year. It's only been 6 months in the California State Assembly. I'm very blessed by a great team and folks that have been working hard on our team to really push our initiatives forward. And I'm very honored to serve the residents of the San Gabriel Valley in District 49. We want to be present. We want to be available. Please feel free to reach out to our office at any time that we can be of assistance to any resident in the San Gabriel Valley in Assembly District 49. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I saw you join a lot of local community events to serve the people and then to know the real questions or real problem during the whole past seasons. So can you share a little bit about what do you feel for your district, District 49? Did you see any problem happen in locally, or did you heard from the people to reach out you to share their concern in the community?
Absolutely, and thank you so much. Part of going to the meetings and events in the community is to really hear directly from the constituents. So my team and I go to many events and meetings in the district, and we're in touch with many of the city council officials, local officials, state officials, federal officials, to really talk about the opportunities to address issues in Assembly District 49. And when I speak to residents in the community, they're concerned about public safety, they're concerned about housing, they're concerned about the climate change crisis. They're concerned about jobs, small business, but also expanding access for educational opportunities for their children and their families. So those are a number of the issues that I hear out there in the community. But also as we come out of this pandemic, we also know the importance of healthcare and taking care of one's mental health as well. We were just at an event in San Gabriel on Saturday to partner with the city of San Gabriel on a mental health awareness fair. So those are a number of the issues that we've been very focused on here in the California State Legislature and here in District 49. And our doors are always open to our constituents to make sure that we're addressing their needs.
Yeah, we both know that you are secured $29.4 million for the Assembly District 49. Do you think you have a plan how do you manage the budget, and then what is the money goes to, and what do you think the benefit for the community?
Thank you so much for that question, Yu Chen. That's a great question. Very honored in our first 6 months that we secured nearly $30 million for Assembly District 49 for a variety of projects. $25 million going to a youth center, community center in the city of Alhambra. We just announced $200,000 for a La Laguna playground in the city of San Gabriel. $1.5 million for the Asian Youth Center to work on their IT infrastructure, their cybersecurity, and their infrastructure serving families in the San Gabriel Valley. Also $1.7 million for a new park, and $1 million to the Vincent Price Art Museum. We know that when any of these funds are out there, we want to make sure that we're using them fiduciarily and to the best of the ability possible. So if there are any concerns with the budget, we can always work with our Joint Legislative Audit Committee to audit any of these issues. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we're working closely with the organizations that they're using the funds, the projects were intended to be used for. I'm very honored that we were able to work with our state legislature, our speaker, our budget chair, and my colleagues to really secure these funds for residents in the San Gabriel Valley.
To spend money is really easy, especially for a big amount. But where we spend and then what is the money helping for, that's really important.
Right.
And as you, as a assembly member, do you think you're facing a lot of challenging, and then especially as a minority, in a community, or what is the challenge you're facing right now? You want to share with us?
Thank you so much for that question. Very honored to serve in the San Gabriel Valley. It's the only Asian American majority seat in Southern California. And we just went through the redistricting process and the redistricting commission, to their credit, and with many of the community members chiming in and making sure that the voices are being heard to keep the communities of the San Gabriel Valley contiguous and compact and together. And through redistricting, East Pasadena and South Pasadena will also be added to Assembly District 49. And I'm very honored, if I'm honored to be elected by the voters again in November, we'll make sure that we are addressing the needs to really build out the broad-based coalition in the San Gabriel Valley. And we know there's a lot of issues facing our Asian American communities in terms of anti-Asian hate. We know that 1/3 of our residents in the San Gabriel Valley have faced some form of anti-Asian hate incident or hate crime, and we need to continue to amplify those issues at the California State Assembly. I was very proud to be part of my colleagues and I with the APA Legislative Caucus to secure tens of millions of dollars to help out nonprofit organizations that are dealing with these issues here in the community. And we know there's a lot more work to be done, and in building out coalitions in the San Gabriel Valley with the Asian American community, with the Latino community, African American community, Caucasian communities, there's a lot of work to be done to really make sure that we're meeting the needs of our residents and families in the San Gabriel Valley, in the 10 cities that I'm very honored to represent in the California State Legislature. And we know that we will have many more coffee meetings going forward to hear directly from constituents as to their concerns in the community. And we know that our community in the San Gabriel Valley, the largest Asian American population, whether it's Monterey Park, Alhambra, Rosemead, San Marino, Arcadia, many of the cities in the San Gabriel Valley are predominantly Asian, and we need to continue to make sure that our communities are feeling safe, and we continue to build coalitions with everyone in the communities to meet their needs. And we're always going to continue to fight and advocate for our resources here in the San Gabriel Valley, and to really secure those resources, working with our API caucus, working with our legislatures, to really make sure that we're meeting the needs of residents in the San Gabriel Valley.
Thank you for sharing. And then also, like you mentioned, that the Asian crime is recently happened a lot in nearby, the community. And do you have any a plan, a detailed plan to talk to the police officer and share something from the local people's care and concern? And what's the plan for that?
Thank you so much. In terms of building up the relationships with law enforcement, I think community policing is so critical. And I was very honored that my team attended many National Night Out events throughout the San Gabriel Valley. National Night Out is an event where the community gets together and partners with law enforcement to really talk about those partnerships, whether it's community policing, sitting on the police advisory boards, police academy cadets, really building out the trust and relationship in our communities. We know many of our communities may be monolingual or may not access city services or government. So it's important to have law enforcement and the community build that trust on a two-way street. One bill that I was very proud to support was by Senator Dave Min, and I was talking about harassment on transit agencies. And it could be harassment in terms of anti-Asian hate. It could be harassment in terms of sexual harassment, any type of harassment. We need to really make sure that we're working with our law enforcement agencies and transit agencies to track these incidents, so that when we track these incidents, we can see if there's any trends. We can look at how we can address these issues. And that's why when the San Gabriel Valley Tribune did the article on mentioning that 1 out of 3 residents in the San Gabriel Valley have experienced some form of anti-Asian hate or incident, it's critical for us as a state and communities to continue to address these issues, to bring these resources, to make sure that we're working with law enforcement on these partnerships to really make sure that our communities are feeling safe.
And then the last question is regarding about the post-pandemic. We have a lot of people care about the financial issues, pressure, and right now the current market is switching a little bit from different way, like a restaurant industry, service industry. So do you have any future plan for the economic wide for your district, like District 49?
Thank you so much. We know that District 49 has many small businesses, and we need to continue to support our small businesses in the community. And right after this, we'll be honoring a small business in the community in the city of Rosemead. We know that small business is the economic engine for our district, for our state. 70% of people work in small businesses that have employed less than 25 people, and some of the small businesses obviously become bigger businesses down the road. But in terms of workforce development, education training, job training programs, that's something, one of my bills, Assembly Bill 2003, works on expanding workforce training programs with our community colleges. We know that our education institutions help build the skilled workforce of tomorrow. And whether it's our community colleges, our University of California, our CSU systems, or newer private colleges, we need to consider supporting them so that they can help build the future workforce here in the San Gabriel Valley. And I'm always going to be very focused on education priorities and access for residents in the San Gabriel Valley and throughout California.
Thank you. And in the last part, can you just share a little bit for encouraging the local community, especially for the Chinese community, for our audience? What's your encouragement to them? Like when you facing the challenging during the life, especially you saw crime happened in the community, don't be afraid because you have support. You may be facing challenging parts, it's a financial pressure because of the pandemic, but we have a lot of a plan to helping you. So like something like that way, do you have anything to share and encourage to the local Asian community?
Thank you. That's a great question. Together, we're always stronger together. So I think the sense of building camaraderie, building community, getting involved in your community, whether it's on a commission, whether it's volunteering at an event. There are so many organizations here in the San Gabriel Valley that are doing amazing work, but we need to reach out to residents and constituents to make sure that they're feeling safe and that they feel comfortable in reaching out to these organizations that can offer opportunities for bystander training that will talk about self-defense so that folks can feel safe. And some of those organizations that are providing these resources are Stop Asian Hate, the AAPI, Equity Alliance, and also the Asian Americans Advancing Justice. These are some groups that are providing these bystander trainings to really make sure that we address anti-Asian hate and to continue to protect ourselves in case of any attacks. And if there are any attacks, please reach out to law enforcement. Please let these, that we're protecting ourselves and reporting these incidents so that we can continue to take care of ourselves and each other. And we know this is a very critical time, and as we're coming out of the pandemic, to really make sure that we're amplifying these issues and that know that we're here to support you as well. So if there's anything that we can work on these opportunities to continue to keep our community safe is so critical. And one thing I'll continue to fight for in this California State Assembly is to advocate for additional budgetary resources to support nonprofit organizations and community organizations that are working on these issues to keep our communities safe.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that you're sharing and encouraging our audience. And this is Assembly Member Mike Fong, and he is working hard for the local people and the community. So he is fighting for the seat for the next term. So people, you know his thoughts and our work effort for the community. So you have maybe questions more, you can reach out him from the office number, right? We have a website, everything. We will just put on the screen so you can reach out to him directly and then address your issue or concern. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much, Yu Chen. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.